Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita. I still can't believe that we are in a new season and I'm just so excited about all the people that are stopping by and chatting with me and having conversations about their pivotal moments. And today is no exception. I have Dr. Joy with me and I am just super excited, Dr. Joy, to have you in the conversation and of course just the work that you do for women and the various seasons of their life is just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it to you so that you can let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Lena. I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for having me. So like you said, I'm Dr. Joyelle. I'm a board certified OBGYN, perimenopause health coach, podcast host, mom of 3 and wife. And a lot of other things. We won't go into that today.
Right.
But what I do passionately is educate and empower women about the stages of life, especially around aging, perimenopause, and menopause. My coaching program, Menopause Moguls, essentially empowers Black professional women over 40 to get out of their own way with their menopausal symptoms so they can optimize their health as well as gain clarity, energy, and focus to take their business to the next level or pivot in their career. So I'm just really passionate about just inspiring women and motivating women to just be themselves and authentically themselves as they are aging. Because I know there's a lot of changes that goes on with our bodies and our minds that we're like, oh my God. But I really encourage them to embrace it and be able to adjust. Like we've been adjusting like forever, right? Like that's what we do. We just have to adjust. And that's what I'm just excited about talking about, pivoting and adjusting today.
Oh my goodness. I am so excited. And I know many of the audience that watch this show are women who you described, right? Who may be in their late 30s, 40s, 50s. And those changes can be overwhelming if you just don't have the right mindset.
Right.
So you guys, you see the link on the screen, go ahead and follow her on Instagram because there's always like you do the cute reels and posts, all that good stuff. Yes, it's super exciting and something that women just need as much positive affirmation as we can get. Like there's not too much, right?
Yes,
like,
right.
That's a whole nother show, but
exactly. Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So of course the theme of this conversation is pivotal moments. So Dr. Joy, what are you going to be sharing with us today as your pivotal moment?
So I'm going to share my pivotal moment in my career, to be honest. And it's kind of been taken in stages. Like I said, I'm board certified OBGYN and I, love what I do. I love delivering babies. I love taking care of women. And I got to a point, I have a couple of pivotal moments. I got to a point, the first moment as I've started my own family, I noticed things were changing and things had to change as far as, my time with my children and my family. And then that against what I had to do in my career. And I had to make this shift of, okay, do I continue to deliver babies and be on call for 24 hours and be away from my family and feel guilty and, just all these things rolling around in my head. And I had to make the decision because I went into OBGYN to deliver babies. Like that was my favorite part. So I'm like, do I really have to stop? And then honestly, did I really have to? Not really have to, but did I want to be more present for my family? That was a decision that I had to make. And I made that decision, after, months of kind of going back and forth, weighing the pros and cons and really deciding like I have to, make that change in order for me to be a better mom, be a better wife, in regards to that. So that was the first moment. And then as I've gotten, as I aged and started my own perimenopausal journey at the age of 39, other thoughts started rolling in my head. And I wanted to, I started having the desire to do something more than what I was doing in the office. And not that I didn't love seeing my patients and educating women there and doing things there, but I felt like something else, I needed to be doing something else other than that. And I was thinking about, starting a business and entrepreneurship. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm a doctor. I don't know anything about business. Like, what do I do?
Right.
But I realized that, again, like, God was like, okay, girl, this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to do this. And then the pandemic happened. So I was like, oh, okay. And that was honestly the moment, like, okay, this is your chance. This is your chance to actually go for what you are longing to do now. Like, I first took a leave of absence from my practice so I can homeschool my 3 children. Like, I never would have thought to do that. Okay, that was a moment. I was like, am I really gonna do this? Am I really like? You want me to do this? Like, what?
Right. Wow.
So that was that, and then that kind of just helped me along to be like, okay, this is your moment to actually kind of pursue this business journey, like this entrepreneurship. Like, this is something that you can do it. You can do it. It's gonna take some time. But having that opportunity to actually just follow what I've always kind of had in the back of my mind, like forever, to be able to kind of move forward. I felt like that was something that I had to do for me, as opposed to just, for everyone. My whole life felt like I was doing everything for everyone else and not really doing anything for me. So I got to a point where I was like, okay, you need to do this for, like, forget everybody else, you need to do this for you. And that's when I decided to go for it.
Wow. Well, so, I mean, it's just so many good things here. The first thing I want to say is, one takeaway is the difference between success and purpose. And they don't necessarily have to be different, but in most cases they are, because one might look at where you were and say, well, you were successful, right? You're a doctor, you've got this great career, that looks like success. But
Right.
There was a part of you that was like, I'm not living in my purpose.
Yes.
And I think that was so important that you shared that, because I think, especially again, as women, we need to sometimes step back and think, am I looking to just be successful, or do I want my success to mean that I'm living and walking in my purpose?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Definitely.
Definitely love that. I love that. And then the second takeaway is, which again, what this show is all about, is how, like you said, when the pandemic hit, that was that door that opened for you. And the pandemic, as scary and overwhelming and painful and dark as it has been, and I say we're still in it.
Still is. Exactly. Still is.
It's still pretty scary.
Yes.
I love the fact that you tapped into using this opportunity as a way to open the door to walking in your purpose. Yes. And that's exactly what Pivotal Moments is all about. Oh my goodness, awesome. So awesome. So what would you say that you learned from your pivotal moment? What did you discover about yourself as that important, unchangeable thing in your life?
Well, number one, that I am stronger than I thought.
Yes.
I mean, I've always thought that I was strong, but I'm like, I'm doing this damn thing. Like, why not? Why not? And, just going through perimenopause, though, that also kind of affected my confidence, to be honest. And I was like, I don't know. And I'm having these, night sweats, mood irritability, having all these changes. And I was second guessing myself on a lot of things, just, even in my career, personally, like, just like, I don't know if I can, So I realized, like, you can do this. Like, you are stronger than you think. And that also came along with a lot of prayer, like, faith, like my faith has grown over this time, over these moments where I'm like, okay, I also realized that it's not just me, obviously, it's the one above. Like, that's really, I had to lean into that and not make it all fall on me. Like, okay, you got to do this, and you got to, and it's all on you. So, you know, it's really not that. Like, I really had to lean on him to be like, okay, tell me what I need to do, and really listen to that. And listen to myself, as like I said, going through these changes in my body, listen to those things too, because a lot of my life, my later years, a lot of things were going on. I just ignored it. I pushed through, like, okay, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna stop eventually, but I'm gonna keep doing this over here because I don't got time to address this over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I really learned to not only lean on him, but also listen to me, because I just kind of ignored me for a long time.
Wow. And once again, I love the transparency. Again, several things. I always talk about social media as wonderful as it can be, and connecting and marketing and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, it can also cause people to look at the best cropped pictures that people put out there, and you're looking at that, and it's easy to compare yourself and beat yourself up because it's like, why am I not there? Yes. But again, I love that you shared, listen, I have my moments where I lacked confidence, right? And especially, like you said, there's changes in our body, there's changes in the world and the environment. So it is okay to acknowledge, guess what? I get nervous, I get insecure, I get scared, I doubt myself.
Yes, all of that.
And I love that you shared that, right? Because people would maybe look at you and be like, oh my goodness, she has it all together, she's doing it. Yes. And you're like, no, I've had my moments.
Yes, I was a hot mess. And I was honestly, like you said, I was pretending like I had it all together. I'm smiling like, hey, how you doing? And really inside, I'm breaking down like, oh God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It.
Girl, oh my goodness.
So yes, I was a hot mess, and I was like, no, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Oh, but you definitely, like you said, you have to acknowledge those moments and not ignore them and be like, that's just a moment and I'm gonna be okay. Like, no, acknowledge it, honor it. Okay, what do I need? What do I want in this moment in order for me to feel whole, in order for me to restore my energy and fill my cup? And that's what really got me through. And I had to learn to do that because, again, I was so used to taking care of everybody else, like all the other women out here, right? Like that's what we do. We're nurturers. We're trying to make sure everybody else is okay. And I got caught. I got caught up in that. Like, hey, I got to make sure everybody else, I'll be all right eventually. But everybody else is good. So that's all that matters. And I really had to learn to prioritize me in this whole process, because if I'm not good, then eventually everybody else not going to be good either.
Yes. And I love that you also said, listen to your body, because in addition to everything else, like you said, we as women, saving everybody, fixing everybody, all that good stuff, we do ignore those things. And especially in our culture, many statistics show that even areas where we may get diseases and things less than our counterparts, typically the death rates are higher because we're not taking care of it. We're not getting the medical attention that we need. We're not getting, and don't get me started on the mental health piece.
Oh, no.
Don't even get me started. That's part 3. Where are we at now? Part 3?
Right, exactly. Part 4, I think. Part 4.
Right. Exactly. So I love that you said that. And y'all watching, take it from the doctor. Let's pay attention. Be in tune with yourself.
Yes.
And we are blessed to, many of the people that are watching this show right now are blessed to have access to the care that they need, right? To medical resources and things like that, of all different types of medical resources. Right. So take advantage of it. Make sure you're paying attention to what you may need. I'm really glad that you shared that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So now, and you mentioned earlier about adjustment. So I always love to bring that piece into the conversation, because pivotal moment, that can kind of take on this beautiful, like, my why, and it, I just made this big pivot. But adjustments sometimes are a little bit more complicated, because they can really be defined as adapting to something uncomfortable. Right. And you don't like to be uncomfortable. So tell us about a time when you had to make the adjustment rather than pivot.
Again, a lot of adjustments have been happening. Right? It's like, let me see if it has it ever been a time I'm not adjusting to something.
Wow.
But honestly, I think again through my perimenopause journey, and as things were starting as far as my symptoms, I had to adjust to how I responded to things. And what I mean by that, because what I teach and coach my clients and just women in general, menopause is not only happening to you, it's responding to you. So when you are high stressed and just, you know, crazy over just different things and not taking care of yourself and doing just multiple things, it makes your menopause experience worse. Like your symptoms can intensify. You have, you know, worsening symptoms, or more symptoms can come up. So I really had to adjust how I responded to, you know, because there's always, and you know, I got 3 kids. There's always going to be something crazy go down, right? Like it's always going to be something like, why did that have to happen? Like, really? Yeah. And the old me would be like, oh my God, like just kind of in a, you know, just this whirl spin, like, oh gosh, like, what am I going to do? And now I'm like, okay, let me take a pause. Let me take a deep breath and then respond. And that was an adjustment. And it's still like, for example, just starting school this year. So I homeschooled last year. I sent the kids back to school this year. I'm like, all right, homeschool is great, but y'all gonna go back this year. Y'all gonna go back.
Exactly.
But when I was homeschooling, you know, I have a morning routine. Again, a morning routine to help me, again, restore and just fill my cup up before my day starts, to start my day. And when I was homeschooling, I had a lot more time before I woke the kids up. So now the kids are going back to school. We had to wake up a little bit earlier and I got to get them ready, things like that. So now I had to adjust how I do my morning routine. Now I can't do all the things I was doing before. I do a little bit at morning time and then I do a little bit in the evening time. Again, just to do those things to, again, restore and refill my cup. So I won't feel drained and I won't have this, flight or flight response every time something goes down. So I really had to adjust, with that too. So I think the biggest thing for me is really learning and adjusting to just, crazy things, crazy moments that happen that, that we ultimately, and there's always going to be some stressful thing that pops up, but adjusting to that and just taking a pause in that moment and just take a breath before I respond to it in order for me to kind of move on.
Wow, that's beautiful. And this is like the third time today that I've heard or read something about a morning routine. I think that's confirmation. Because I think I really need to do that. Like it just, yeah, again, that's just, it can be hard if you're not kind of a structured, scheduled person.
Right.
But I feel like this is confirmation. So we may have to talk again.
Yes. Yes. Part six.
Woo. Right. Oh my goodness. Well, it has certainly been so enjoyable having this conversation with you. As we come to the end of our conversation, of this conversation, because I'm sure you're going to be back. Yes. What would you like to share directly with people that are watching, listening? What do you want to share directly with them?
I think my main message is to encourage women, especially women, Black women, to prioritize yourself, period. And the importance of that is, if we don't, we will, fall by the wayside. Like you said, we're so used to, striving for the success, but not really being happy and walking in our purpose at the same time. So when we prioritize ourselves and really look within ourselves to figure out what we want, what we need, in order to carry out the things, our passions and our dreams, and get to, success, as a whole, as opposed to just a part of you, you success within your whole being, as opposed to, a portion of you is successful. Or I'm just a doctor, but I'm struggling over here. I want women to, not struggle anywhere. We need to be able to feel whole in all the things that we do. And we do that first by prioritizing ourselves and doing the things that we need to do to bring us joy to restore our energy, mentally, physically, and spiritually, in order for us to, like you said, walk in our purpose.
Wow, that's beautiful, beautiful message. I love that. And where can everybody find you? All that good stuff. Of course, they see it on the screen, but just go ahead and share where everyone can find you and just some of the things that you offer to people.
Yes. So they can find me, like you mentioned, on Instagram or Facebook at Dr. Joyelle, DrJoyel. My podcast is called Midlife-ish, Slay Menopause Through Mindful Living. You can find that on all your listening podcast apps. And my website, drjoyelle.com. You can actually buy my book, Loving Me, Myself, and Her Through Perimenopause and Beyond. It's basically kind of a affirming guide for women to, learn more about what happens in perimenopause and menopause and different things you can do to manage through. And then I've mentioned before my coaching program for Black professional women over 40 who want to pivot to something new in their career or start a new business, but they're feeling overwhelmed by their menopausal symptoms. So I coach women in regards to different things, nutrition, exercise, self-care, all these things that are required for them to manage their menopausal symptoms, optimize their health so they can gain clarity, energy, and focus to take their whole life to their best level, to their next level, because that's what menopause is. Menopause is your next level, and I want definitely to encourage women to do that.
Wow. Awesome. Well, this has just been amazing. You all definitely check out Dr. Joyelle. This is, I mean, I really just can't say it enough. It's just the work you're doing. I just really, really appreciate it. And it's so wonderful to just see another person who looks like me, right, out there speaking the language that benefits so many of us. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
You are welcome. We got the same hairstyle.
Girl, so I have to say this. Okay, so Dr. Joyelle and I, we had a Zoom call maybe about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And I have been wanting to cut my hair and just make that transition. What she don't know is she helped inspire me to go ahead and cut it. I was so pumped and encouraged when we had our conversation. And again, it was just freeing,
liberating, right? Yes.
So I have you to thank in part for this, which I am loving.
And you are beautiful. You are rocking it. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has been awesome. We will definitely be connecting again and see how, we can partner up and just, again, help reach so many women out there that need your services and your information and even hearing your story. So thank you again for joining Pivotal Moments. I'm so glad you stopped by for the conversation today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. And thank you all out there for tuning into another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita. We will see you next time.